today we're going to cover, it's going to be super interesting. We're going to dive into how to validate your product idea for which market. So, this is an interesting question. And there's a few things we can unpack there. So what is my product idea? Is it right for Amazon anyway? But secondly, what is the right market for me? And are markets different? Should I just go for the big one, .com, or should I be looking somewhere else? So let's check who's coming in here right now. So Mickey Mills, cool. Brisbane, Richard, yeah, good to see you. Ann Jones, Jessica. Yes, Jessica, you're all muted at the moment. So I'm going to present and I'm going to go through some slides. If you have questions, big one for you guys. If you have questions, just put it in the chat. I'll come back to it and I'll answer all those questions. We have the potential, if you're interested, Jessica, you can maybe take on the challenge. But I'm here to help. And if you raise your hand to speak towards the end, if we have time, I can bring you on and we can bring you on live. You can do voice or video, and we can have a quick conversation as long as it's a topic about what we're talking about that's of value to everyone else. You can always raise your hand to speak and I can bring you on at some stage. So that is available for you. But most importantly, if you have questions, put them into the chat, and I'll come back and I'll answer those as we go. Rick Green, what's up? Mickey Mills, what's up again? All right, cool. So plenty of people joining in here. So good to see you all. We're going to kick off in just a minute. Again, if you can enter that poll, that'd be great. I was asking, I just want to get a sense of who's in the room. And maybe another quick question is, what is your biggest challenge right now? If you can let me know your biggest challenge with Amazon, is it finding a product? Is it getting more sales? Or is it scaling your business? Those are three things. So finding a product, getting more sales, or scaling. Find, getting more, or scaling. Just put that into the chat so I can kind of know and get a feel for the room, who's here, and we can go from there. So let me know. And yeah, as I said, we're going to be covering today that idea of like, if I have a product idea, what's the right market for us and how to launch it. So I'm going to start jumping in right now. It looks like a lot of you guys we just started hanging out, which is good. So, this is the perfect place, guys. You have me for the next 45 minutes. We'll have questions, whatever your burning questions are, jump in. It can be about the specific topic we're talking about or anything in general. I'm here to answer it, and hopefully I can answer your questions. So let me share my screen and we'll dive in. So at any stage, if you can't hear me or if you're not seeing my screen or something like that, just let me know as well. That'd be great. But let's go ahead and share my screen. Let's jump over to this screen. All right, I'm going to just check over here. Finding a product, Michael Lewis. Okay. Stephen, beautiful. Geelong. Stephen, Geelong, always. Geelong grammar reminds me of going back in my old rugby days when I went and played against Geelong Grammar School. We beat them anyway. But yeah. All right, guys, let's get going. And by the way, one point for you guys. I don't know if you guys have seen the latest BBC newscaster who had this great view in the background, a great set of shelves. And she unfortunately on BBC News left one of her sexy, gadgets on the shelf for all to see. So note to self, always check your shelves, make sure everything's good before you present live. That's just a tip. Take it for what it is, but always check that. But it's a pretty funny clip if you guys want to check that out. Okay, enough banter. Let's jump in and talk a little bit more about this. So why and how do you choose a product to launch on Amazon? Which markets do you look at? You guys mostly know me, so I'm not going to dive into the detail here of what ZonGuru is about, but we do have over 16 different tools at the moment. The big news right now, guys, is there is a full integration. We'll be the first in the marketplace to be fully integrated across .com, Europe, and Australia. Australia's always been the big one that we've always aimed for. But because brand analytics and a whole bunch of data points that haven't been available in those marketplaces, we just haven't been able to showcase our tools in those marketplaces. But this is coming literally in a couple of weeks. So I'm going to give you guys an insider look today and show you what some of that data looks like. So it's our staging data. I'm going to show you that, but it's going to show you how you can validate product ideas in different marketplaces. Very cool. We're going to show you. You guys are the first to kind of see that. So we'll jump in. And again, we're obviously built all of our main developers are sellers, so they know what problems to solve for you guys. And this is one big thing we've been wanting to solve for a while, which is how do we rate products and validate them in different marketplaces? Where's the biggest opportunity? A quick mention here, and the reason I bring this up is 2021 is even bigger than 2020. You know, the shift to e-commerce is huge. Our customers alone, you guys on Zonguru, are doing 7.6x your revenue this year versus last using Zonguru's tools. You know, private label is the biggest sector for Amazon, and everyone is either buying on Amazon or wanting to sell on Amazon. So it's a very competitive marketplace. You know, I'm just looking at the trends. I'll show you this for a second, but I'm just showing you the trends. This is total visits across all the marketplaces in you know, on Amazon, right? Amazon.com, great. You know, 2.9 million, great. Japan, funny enough, is second. This is November, right, of 2020. Germany, third. Amazon.co.uk, fourth. You know, India, interestingly enough, is coming in there fourth. And then we have Italy, France. These guys never used to be big. Italy, France, Canada is below. Canada used to be way up there, you know. So this is a shift that's been happening. And I can tell you a lot about Italy and France and Europe in specific. They're traditionally more brick and mortar retail, but because of what's happened, they are having to jump on the bandwagon and sell on Amazon on e-commerce and shift to e-commerce just to survive as a starting place. And we're literally seeing e-commerce 5 years ahead of where it should be right now. And all these traditional marketplaces are growing. So Europe, there's massive opportunity there and it's growing. And then we go down in Australia. You know, Australia's still looking small. But when you look at Australia, I mean, this market is, we've been saying this for a while, you need to get in and stake your ground there. But like the growth there is phenomenal. They're seeing this as probably one of their better markets and their better way of going after a marketplace and trying to own that whole marketplace. It's a success story for Amazon. They're putting more and more money into it. This thing is going to grow and grow. And I'm sure you guys have some better insights, those of you based in Australia, of like what the experience is like. I wouldn't mind hearing a little bit about that. You know, the experience of actually dealing with Amazon. Is it good, bad, medium? If you're ordering products, how's that going? Are you starting to actually become one of the, like us Americans, we buy everything off Amazon? Is it similar for you guys over there? That'd be interesting to hear. So, you know, the point is that everything is growing. There's much more competition. Again, if you're focusing on launching a product, and we're going to talk about this in a second, but consumables is not where you want to be, guys. You don't want to be there. That's a $10 million product. You're competing against massive brands. Advertising spend is through the roof. You need to look at a niche within a niche within a niche, literally. So think of the target avatar, something really small. That's what we're going to look at right now. I have a couple more slides before we jump in and demo. Experience from Australia. Awesome. So he's been using Amazon for over a year. That's interesting. Yeah, you know, it's gonna shift, and it's happened here. And I think it's I know Woolworths and stuff is struggling to compete. You know, I've got some insider connections there, and you know, it's tough to compete with Amazon. So you know, hopefully you guys are getting a good experience there. All right. So why do we look at more than just the USA as a marketplace? So number one, being first to market, or at least one of the first to market, right? This is one way that I grew my Amazon businesses. I grew my specific product in onemarket.com, but then I launched it in Europe as well. And that just added to my revenue base. It has a whole bunch of challenges that go around that, from stock and inventory and managing that. It gets a lot more complicated, but it's one way to grow your revenue, right? And scale your business is to open in different markets. A better chance of getting to page one. So, you know, again, you know, we know that Amazon is just going to grow. But it works incredibly well in Europe, and maybe it's only coming to .com later. So, you know, Europe might be the place to start. And then obviously cost of goods. That's an important one you guys need to think about, is how does the market that you sell on impact your cost of goods? Where is your supplier base, your manufacturer? You know, what are the requirements? What loops do you have to go through, or rings do you have to go through to get your product compliant for that market? Is that going to push your cost up too much? Is the shipping too much? If I've got a European manufacturer and I sell in Europe, that's going to make a huge difference to my cost of goods. So something to think about. And then some other ideas I had, which is like, you know, what do you need to consider? So now if I've kind of looked at, hey, I might want to look at different markets. What are the things that I need to consider? First, data. We have to know the niche rating, and then find out that you just didn't have the right data, or you didn't make the right decisions, and you have a product that doesn't work. And that's important around, I want to clarify that. That's about finding the right product using our niche rating score. But if you do find the right product, when you launch it, you have to use Keywords on Fire, Listing Optimizer, get the right keywords in place, and have a really strong PPC strategy. Because if you don't do those right, even though you had a great product, it could be a flop. So that's a different conversation. We can talk about that at a different stage. So I think the last points that I was making is that, you know, when you're considering a marketplace, you have to use the niche rating to validate that idea. One, understand your local cultural knowledge and expertise. So do you have the local cultural knowledge and expertise? For example, if you're going to sell in Germany, you know, what's your cultural understanding of that marketplace? And with that goes the avatar, right? Do you understand your customer in that marketplace? Is it different? And when I show you an example right now, you'll see this. Sometimes it's different just based on the keyword. Shipping and importing requirements. So understanding that different markets have different requirements to, like FDA, you know, for America. Is that something that you have? Or is your manufacturer better suited to selling on Europe? Those are things that you need to ask. And then finally, do you have a multi-market or a single market strategy? So what I mean by that is, as I look at the vision of my business and what I'm trying to grow, am I actually looking at launching multiple products in one marketplace? Or do I have one kick-ass product idea and I want to launch that in a marketplace and then scale that by launching in other marketplaces? So these are things that you need to consider before you really look at marketplaces. Okay, so everyone can hear me loud and clear, which is good. I'm going to try and share my screen again because I want to jump in and just show you two examples that I pulled up. And this, again, is using our staging data. And I'm just going to show you the Chrome extension for right now. But so you guys know, this is integrated into our Chrome extension, our sales by data, our niche finder, which is huge. That's amazing when you start to see how that works. And then Keywords on Fire, Listing Optimizer. These now you can actually use across all markets, .com, Europe, and Australia. So it's providing some really interesting data. Now, we've been testing this all on staging because we have to make sure that our algorithms are working correctly. And it's pretty interesting to see some of the ideas that come up. I've just gone with some basic ones today, but I want to just show you what kind of thinking that I have when I look at different markets. All right, so I'm going to share screen again. If this goes choppy again, let me know. All righty, so okay, so hopefully you can see my screen right now. I've just opened up .com with Yoga Mat. Now, you guys know Yoga Mat is not a product you should be selling on .com. If you look at the niche rating score right now, it's a 53% score. So buyer demand is huge. I mean, you know, everyone's buying a yoga mat on Amazon. Competition opportunity is actually low. I would think it's lower. And, you know, revenue potential is high because this is you can make some really good money here because the demand is so high. But look at monthly revenue; it's like 113,000. You know, this is a very difficult product to get in and get to page one. You know, if I ran a Keywords on Fire and looked at, you know, kind of you know, how many sales I need to do on a daily basis, it's going to be a high number, and that's 88,000 right there. So launch budget 88,000. But, you know, very, very difficult product to get in on this marketplace. As I move over to .co.uk, 77% score. So demand, again, through the roof. Now, importantly for you guys to know is our demand is actually rated by marketplace. So, you know, the demand that you look at is actually, is that the high demand for what the general sales volume and search volume is for that marketplace? You know, so that way you can at least, when you're looking at something, you know this is a real big demand product for that marketplace. The other ones, competition opportunity, investment sweet spot, revenue potential, that's rated by what's on actual page one, what they're seeing on that data, and are rated based on that. But demand is definitely given an overall weighting based on the marketplace and the kind of demand that's done there. That's the best way for you guys to kind of validate the idea. Interestingly, on this one, the competition opportunity is not that high. You know, this is something that you could, if you are very expert skilled, you could probably get some good traction. Obviously, you have to have a differentiating product, and it's not that easy to differentiate. But you know, yeah. So let's have a look at Australia. So this is Australia yoga mat. Interestingly, I was looking at, this is now, you see how they differentiate. This is actually the second best seller. This one here with the number 2 against it. second best seller, and they differentiate. They've got this kind of like lines that go on it. There's a way of differentiating, and that they're doing well. Sales are not that up, but I mean, someone's doing $40,000 a month just on Amazon.Australia. So the rating here is demand is through the roof. The rest, it's kind of similar to .co.uk. Could be interesting though. So again, if you have this kind of product and maybe you have a great supplier, you should. Hopefully you guys can hear me. I'm sorry if it's breaking, but we'll get through this in a second. So if this is the right marketplace, if you have a great product and it doesn't necessarily look like the competition is too high on .com, come and look at some of the other marketplaces because it's going to be there for you. You'll see some opportunity. Okay, I just typed in fishing rod holder. I was just like, hey, how does that look? 55% on the USA, right? So average demand, competition is okay. Revenue potential is okay. An average product, not bad, but monthly revenue is 7,000. So this is maybe a decent product. If you're just starting, you could definitely differentiate and come in here, right? So just look at the product. It's kind of interesting to see. Then if I move over to .co.uk, 30% niche score, right? Competition opportunity is actually pretty strong for the products that are here, but the buyer demand is super low, And interestingly, it's a very different style product. Like there's a little bit of similarity, but there's a lot of different products on here. So is it just a different word for something that has a different meaning? And then finally over here, I looked at Australia, pretty good listings. Some of them are similar, but also 30%, not a high revenue at all. So, this is across markets. And what I did is I just put together a spreadsheet here, just kind of bring it all together. And this is something you can do when you have ideas. Now, these are obviously just random ideas, but you could do a spreadsheet just like this, drop in your yoga mat, demand, competition, investment, revenue potential, average sales, add it into all these markets. And then you have a good idea of like looking at it. Hey, what could be an interesting market for me? And if I sold in more than one market, what that actually does to your total revenue potential that you can get at. This is the average revenues, right? But it's clearly a big difference between the markets. This is all in dollars right now. But if I had a yoga mat, probably the market I would look at is Australia, just because you can get in there. You staking ground and it's just going to grow. So I think this is an interesting one for me. Fishing rod holder, I would probably stick with the US just on this, just because of where it's at. But again, if it's close to you, get your products onto Amazon Australia. It's not going away. And when you start to really look at the products that you guys know, you're going to see some numbers here that make a lot of sense. And you guys will actually start to be able to really identify opportunities on Amazon Australia and launch products there. You can have smaller budgets. You don't have to have as much capital. You can test it, and if it's really working well, you can then bring that to the States afterwards. That's another way of approaching it. So, this is how I look at it. Again, you need data. You need data to be able to look at these. We've been spending a lot of time figuring out exactly how the data needs to look for each market, and give you the answers you need so that you can be successful with your business. So I'm really excited by this. This is something we've been working on for a while. It's an easy thing to say, having full integration across all marketplaces, but it's a hard thing to do. And just to give you some background on that, Amazon has, the way that they're structured from a technology perspective is each market is completely different, and all their data that you have to integrate with is all different. We've obviously through our partnership had access to that and being the first that's going to bring this to market. So with Zonguru, you can literally look at all of our tools in each of those main marketplaces. And we have some more coming up in the future. So very exciting stuff. It is not live yet. It's going to be live in a few weeks. There's going to be a lot of press around it. And there's actually going to be a big launch prize giveaway as well, which is going to be super interesting. And you guys will have all access to all of that. So great. That's essentially what I wanted to cover today. And I want to open it up for questions. Sorry about all the freezing that was happening during it. But if you have questions, I'm happy to answer them. Just type them straight into the chat, and we can go straight from there. So, all right, let me look in the chat right now. Let me see if there's any questions come up. Again, if you have questions, everyone probably wants answers to those. So please ping us with your questions. Okay. Finding the right product. Okay. All right. Let's see some questions here. Okay. So, all right, Stephen, or Stefan, I'm not sure how to say it. Stephen Wilkinson. I often find a lot of non-relevant products on page 1 of the Amazon search. If I alter the choices and click, are the niche find analytics remaining accurate and reliable, or should I look at page 2 and repeat? Really good question. Yes. So if you actually look at, I'm scared to share my screen because it's going to freeze. But if you look at the Chrome extension when it comes up, there's some grayed out, lines that happen. And the reason we gray that out is those are all the sponsored ads. So we don't include any of the sponsored ads in our estimations. The reason we do that is because sometimes sponsored ads have non-relevant products for the niche that you've typed in, right? So we don't include those in, but you can check or uncheck any line item and it'll be recalculated into the results. So you can absolutely rely on those, because competition opportunity, demand will change slightly, but competition opportunity, all of the other ones, they're based on the results that they're actually seeing on page 1. So as you pull some out, it's going to adjust those numbers. You can actually load page 2 as well. So go ahead and do that. And you can load page 3 as well. So, Stephen, I would say, run one search of the keyword, play around with the numbers a little bit, delete or remove some of the numbers, but then probably put in another 2 or 3 keywords as well. That's really important because you're going to see different results based on the types of keywords. And then I would run a keywords on fire session for that actual niche, that keyword that you're looking for. Some other keywords are going to pop up. You'll see actual dollars by keyword, which is really important. There's a whole bunch of data. So, the Chrome extension is ready to kind of give you a high level evaluation of what's happening on Amazon right now. How does that look as a niche based on data right now, right? Because it's right now. The next steps on that is to definitely look at SalesSpy with the top 5 competitors. Look at the trend data on SalesSpy. They'll give you a historical view, and then also run a keywords on fire session for the keyword that you're actually looking at, or multiple keywords. You can do multiple phrases with that keywords on fire, and that data you can really look into. You're going to see some product ideas, first of all, that you've never thought of, but secondly, you can really validate what are the right kind of keywords and what kind of volume do they generate. So those are the key tools to use around product research. Hopefully that helps. Let me know if there's any other questions on that. Okay, so Rick, how do I integrate Zon into Amazon again in different markets? So when you're live, you can do it right now because it's available, right? So if you go into your account settings, it'll say by market, hey, you've connected on this market. There's a button at the top that says connect to your MWS. It'll give you your market options. And right now you can actually integrate with the US, Australia, and Europe. So those are all available for you right now. Your dashboard and all those data points work. So just jump in there and just connect each of your different marketplaces. That's pretty easy. Just go to the top where it says connect MWS and you can move straight from there. Jessica, just to clarify, we are subscribing at present. When did you say the niche calculator will be available in Australia? It is going to be available in a couple of weeks. We're planning a big launch. I'm not going to give any more detail on that because you're going to hear very soon. It's literally, if you signed up now, you will get access. We're not going to keep access separate, from current subscribers. So if you're in right now, you'll be locked in with what you have right now, and you'll have access. So, Jessica, hang in there because you're going to see a lot, and there's going to be some super cool additional value and prizes and a whole bunch of stuff that we're bringing. So we're timing it a little bit with the big events. You guys probably know Reliable Education. We're timing some stuff with that in terms of releasing. So there's going to be a big kind of opening release for that. But I'm giving you guys a sneak peek internally so you can see what's going on. Michael Lewis, search volume sometimes says less than 50, right? Yeah, and that's true. So when it says search volume less than 50, it's for that specific keyword. Now remember, the search volume is by the keyword that you entered, right? But the results that are on that page are for multiple keywords, right? Whatever those products are indexing for. So revenue and all those things you can look at, right? So if it means less than 50, it's just because brand analytics and what Amazon is giving us, they're saying, hey, that search for that longer tail keyword is probably less than 50. But the results that you see on the page, they rank for other shorter tail keywords, different keywords. So, don't be put off by something that's less than 50. Look at the other numbers as well, which is demand. The niche rater will still have some good numbers in there. Search volume. Those are things you can look at. Or just change your keywords. So, for example, if I typed in blue yoga mat men, I'm going to have less than 50 because the search volume is not really that high. But if I type in just yoga mats, it's going to be way higher, right? So it'll give you those low numbers. But again, just look at the search volume and the other numbers there, and you'll see whether those products still drive a lot of sales. Great. Jessica, how many products are currently selling on Amazon US? I don't know the number actually. I should probably know that. In that marketplace, I'll come back to you. But in that marketplace trend, they might actually have the exact numbers. But there are hundreds of millions of products, if not a billion. I know the data points that we collect, from a technology perspective, is huge. I think we're putting in 1 million data points, kind of a minute kind of thing. So we're constantly growing, but there are so many products on there. But I think to the point there, Jessica, is like, curiosity. Hey, how many products are sold on Amazon.com? That's great. But I think more to the point of being an Amazon seller is what kind of sales are being done for the type of product that I'm looking to launch, because that is the critical thing, right? And going back to my initial point, like if you're looking at some of those more consumable products, where they're doing, 3, 4, 500,000 a month, it's going to be really hard to compete and get onto that page. And that's a 10 million at least or more, $20 million a year product, where you're looking for that 500,000 to $1 million product. That 6-figure product is a great one to start with. One that's doing 50,000 a month, that kind of thing. That's where you want to be. 25, 50,000. Typically my experience of sellers on Amazon is that it's when you've got 5 products live that you start to do $1 million in revenue. And it's not hard to get there, but you don't expect your first product to get you there. You have to stack at least 2 or 3 products on top of each other. And so that's why, looking at something that's doing 12,000 a month, 25,000 a month, 50,000 a month, those are the great ones you really want to aim for, that you can nail and you can win on and beat everyone else. And you can just get 2 or 3 of those going, and all of a sudden you have a $1 million business, and you have diverse risk, because it's not just one SKU or one product. You have 2 or 3 products. So your risk diversification is way higher. So, that's what you should look at. Rick, do you guys list products and run PPC as a ZonGuru service? I would say probably our strongest tool set is, we have 2, right? Niche Finder is probably one which is tied to the niche rating. That Niche Finder is if you compare that to any of the industry tools out there, what's really great about it is all the results are really relevant for private label sellers, because we are keyword driven. Not a lot of the other tools are keyword driven. So, and we bring in brand analytics. It's what people are actually putting into Amazon right now that you see from the results. And then we filter it to make sure that you're getting really focused product ideas. So that's Niche Finder. But around listing optimization, that is probably our most powerful one. And if you haven't used it, it is insane, because not only the way that we pull our keywords and Keywords on Fire, which does a whole bunch in one step. We don't have to get into the details, but when you look at Listing Optimizer, you can be guaranteed that your listing will be more optimized than any of your competition, because it actually allows you to compare versus your top 5 to 8 competitors. And you can literally look at where they're winning, where you can beat them, and how to optimize your listing. So it's really powerful. And then from all of that, you will actually have your keyword list that you can put into your manual campaigns for PPC that just give you a step up. We've done that as a case study, literally using our Keywords on Fire as our manual campaign, and the boost it gives you when you actually launch, instead of waiting for Amazon to tell you what keywords to use or using some other tools, is just insane, because you just get the right keywords and you know exactly what to target. So, Rick, the listing optimization in PPC is really, really powerful. That's probably from big sellers. They use Zonguru just for that, just for the keywords on fire and listing optimization. And Europe is just waiting for this. They can't wait right now. So I get messages every day saying, hey, Jessica, are you personally selling yourself? Yes. So I have multiple businesses on Amazon. One since 2014, the other one since 2017. So I go through the daily challenges just like you guys. It is good ups and some challenges for sure. Stephen, can Listing Optimizer allow writing the description in HTML code or have a link to a tool that helps with that? Good question. I'll have to ask Stefan, our CTO, on that in terms of HTML code. The way I understand it, mostly with Amazon right now, is that you have to use their HTML. Yeah, you can use it for some emojis and that kind of stuff. I don't know how much HTML code you would be putting in there, but good question. We don't have that integrated at the moment. But what you can do is once your listing is written, you just push a button and it will literally upload that directly into your listing. So you don't have to like download a CSV, kind of recopy it over, just upload it directly. Thank you, Rebecca. Just thank you. Yeah, for the niche finder, no problem. Yeah, guys, remember this training happens every week. Eric is a six-figure seller. Kimberly is also a six-figure seller. She's got an amazing product. They are super knowledgeable. They are teaching every single week. We have some really cool trainings coming up. We have some joint trainings with other experts coming on. So it's always here for you guys. Just look out for the newsletter. If you guys don't look at the newsletter every week, you really have to, because there's live training. There's a whole bunch of killer information in there for you guys to check out. So do check that out all the time. And by the way, if anybody here doesn't have Zonguru and they want 50% off their first month, just go to zonguru.com/webinar and you'll get that deal right there. That's available for you. So you can just jump on, get 50% off the first month plus your 7-day free trial. So you can just jump in and get that using. So just go to zonguru.com/webinar. And I think on that as well, you get a whole SOP, like a step-by-step process on how to actually optimize your listings and how to find product ideas as well. So check that out. If you haven't got it, jump in and get using there. But that said, look out for some updates real soon. We've got some crazy offers coming with this launch of the integration into Australia and Europe. So I'm looking forward to the Reliable Education Summit as well. I'll be up on stage. You guys know Seth Godin is going to be there and a whole bunch of other people. So it's going to be pretty awesome. So if you aren't got your tickets for that, get your tickets, because no doubt Reliable Education is going to bring the heat. They always do. All right, guys. I think that is about it in terms of questions. Thank you for all your time. Again, if you have any questions, we have an amazing support team. We literally have the highest rating in the industry. There's a specific, just to give you the detail, there's a specific rating that you get called an NPS score, which is standard for industries, and we have the highest right now because we have passionate sellers who are on our support team, and they want to help you guys. They literally are waiting for it to chime that there's a new question in there so they can get in and answer it. So jump in if you have any questions. Just hit the chat box, ask your questions. Someone will get back to you. They will be more than happy to help you guys. And subscribe to our newsletter if you haven't already, or sign up so that you can get a notification when we go live with this integration. It's going to be super cool. That's it. Enjoy your Friday and your Saturday, wherever you are in the world. I appreciate it, guys. And I'm going to go chill out for a minute because this cold is getting to me a little bit. But I will chat to you guys soon. Enjoy your weekend. Cheers for now.